There was an expose on Adani Hindenburg 2.0. Rahul Gandhi held a press conference a short while ago. It's also the 2 days where the India Alliance is meeting in Mumbai, their third meeting. So there was lots of news. But then one news came and overpowered everything. It was a tectonic news break which could possibly change the political narrative of the country. That the government, in the special joint session that it's called of Parliament from the 18th to the 22nd of September, is actually mulling to table one nation, one poll bill. Is it a possibility or red herring? Well, we just had the constitutional expert on the network, PDT Achari, who said it's very, very difficult to even engineer something like that. But away from that, let's take it to our political analyst this evening. Joining me, Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, Sandeep Shastri, national coordinator, Lokniti Network, Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor, India Today. Let's cut across to Rashid Kidwai first. Rashid Kidwai, just about a week ago, you had the India Alliance partners one by one come and make noises of the fact there could be political fear-mongering at its best, could be early elections. And then now, today, news breaks that the government is actually mulling to table the one nation, one poll bill in Parliament. What are your views, Rashid Kidwai?
I think pretty on the face of it, this move looks to be, the India-centric, India Alliance-centric, because the India Alliance has come up in a big way and trying to have a, one-to-one contest, one-on-one contest over 400 seats. I think the BJP is trying to do something extraordinary. Now, if you look at constitutionally or politically, this one nation, one poll, they don't solve the problem. How do you dissolve governments like, Delhi or Punjab or Bengal governments or Karnataka for that matter? You can only dissolve where assembly elections are due within 6 months, before or after, Lok Sabha elections. And moreover, Preeti, you cannot, differ. For instance, Madhya Pradesh Assembly has to be constituted by, 10th of December 2023. So you cannot just defer it for another 6 months or so. So I think, and the people are going to go to court, and it's a constitutional provision. The BJP has to muster majority in the Rajya Sabha, which it doesn't have on the face of it. And most important, Preeti, politically, how do you, draw a dividend? We have seen in Odisha, voters giving a mandate to a particular party in assembly and different to in the Lok Sabha election. We have seen this happening in Delhi also, that within 6 months people give very different verdict, and in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan also. So I think, Mr. Modi would be thinking, to my mind, would be thinking something different than with something which is high on, symbolically or politically, and more importantly, something, a legislation that you can bring and you can, reap some kind of political dividend within 6 months' time. Something like that, to my mind, is the objective of the special session.
Well, very interesting, because right after, when news came, source-based at that the government is mulling to table the one nation, one poll bill. Also, the UCC bill, one nation, one law bill could be tabled, as well as women reservation bill. Rajdeep, at least, whatever the source-based information is, looking to, aiming to change the political, social narrative of the country. But having said that, real possibility doesn't seem so. We spoke to a constitutional expert. Right now, seemingly red herring.
Yes, that's my sense. One nation, one election is extremely difficult to pass through with a 2/3 majority, a constitutional amendment required in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and 50% of the state assemblies have to also support it. Remember, most of the regional parties would not be inclined to support a bill like this, including a few of the BJP allies, as well as the fence-sitting parties like the Biju Janata Dal and the YSRCP. So my sense is, yes, it's a talking point, but I don't see that to be the real issue which the government is pushing. I expect this government, with Mr. Modi, expect the unexpected. Who knows what he does within the next 15 days? I spoke to someone who said women's reservation is something he's seriously thinking about, because that then is the kind of legislative agenda that might be very attractive to the women's voter and enable you to once again capture the narrative. Look, Mr. Modi is about setting the narrative. He doesn't like the opposition to set the narrative. This morning with the Adani issue, the Congress going on the offensive, targeting Prime Minister Modi ahead of the India Alliance meeting here, you sense that this was going to be the big agenda. So then you have the Prime Minister's office or the government and Prahlad Joshi saying, look, we are bringing in a special session, leads to speculation of an early election. Mr. Modi tries to once again capture in a way the narrative. So a lot of this may be about capturing the narrative. It's also about, in a way, trying to, in the backdrop of Chandrayaan and G20 having a session like this where certainly the treasury benches will be full of praise for the Prime Minister, once again trying to sort of make Modi out to be a larger than life figure. So I sense that this is in a way either agenda setting or a diversionary tactic, whichever way, whichever side of the divide you are. The opposition sees it as a diversionary tactic. The BJP will see it as the Prime Minister setting the agenda.
Rajdeep, you're at the India meet today. Third time meeting in Mumbai. Now, it was the opposition itself just about 4 days ago, Mamata Banerjee, before that, Nitish Kumar, even the Congress chipped in, where they floated the bogey or a trial balloon of sorts, where they suggested that the government is looking at early elections this year. What do they have to say today after this news break?
It's very interesting. The likes of Mamata Banerjee are convinced that the Prime Minister is going in for an early election in December. So she at this meeting is going to convey a sense of urgency that you can't just simply go from one city to the other. You need to now set the agenda, get your act together, be in a position to at least have 3 or 4 talking points of your own. So she's going to raise that today. In fact, her suggestion, I am told, to this alliance meeting is on October 2nd. That's 32 days from today. We should all be coming together. All the opposition parties should come together and announce their plan of action. That's what she is suggesting. Now, we don't know whether the Congress will agree to that timetable. The Congress seems more intent on slowing things down, working to their own schedule. They've got their own issues, like Rahul Gandhi raising the Adani issue at a separate press conference today. The Congress would prefer to first focus on the winter election, November, December. Congress doesn't seem as convinced as the regional parties are that Mr. Modi is going in for an early election. But certainly a sense of urgency will creep into some of the discussions that will take place between today and tomorrow.
All right, but Rajdeep, for somebody who's covered parliament and politics, what's your hunch in all of this? Why is it that the government has called for a special joint session, that too, which I'm sure a lot of your Maharashtrian parties are not happy with, bang in the middle of Ganesh Chaturthi?
Look, that's already been raised by the Shiv Sena that you can't have a special session bang in the middle of Ganesh Chaturthi. But be that as it may, with Narendra Modi ji, you don't know what comes next. We've seen it in the past with demonetization, for example. Catch your opponents by surprise has been his politics. But his politics has also been don't even leave a single day of power. Because while you're in power, you have the instruments of power to build your own image or to set the agenda. Remember, the general expectation is in January there'll be the inauguration of the Ram Mandir. I don't think Mr. Modi is in fast-forward mode. What Mr. Modi is about is setting the narrative. 2 days ago, LPG prices cut by rupees 200. There's much talk that petrol and diesel prices, there will also be duty cuts. Mr. Modi wants to, in a way, take away every issue that the opposition may have before they get their act together. And then decide, do I want to go in for a snap poll in December or do I want to wait till March, April? My own sense is he will wait till March, April, knowing Mr. Modi. He doesn't. His history suggests the only time that he's preponed an election was 2002 when he went 6 months earlier in the backdrop of the Gujarat riots. Apart from that, Mr. Modi's politics has been kursi pe baithe ho, take every advantage of being on the chair, use your power to in a way set the agenda, to set the political narrative.
Rajdeep, I'll take you for a quick question before we let you go. I know you have to leave, but the fact is, with all these political developments, it might just be political posturing or fear-mongering at a level, but the sheer fact that there could be a bill of one poll, one nation, or the other, bills that are being spoken of. Is there now a sense of urgency that is set in, especially in the Congress of the India Alliance, because other political parties are reading the writing on the wall way quicker than the Congress?
Absolutely, Preeti. I think the regional parties are often far more nimble than the Congresses. You see, the Congress has Rahul Gandhi, who wants to continue to hit the government with the Adani revelations. He believes that's Mr. Modi's vulnerability. He will continue to focus on that. Other Congress leaders, where is Ashok Gehlot? Where is Bhupesh Baghel? They are more worried about their state's elections that coming up in 2-3 months. They've got Adani investments in their state. regional party leaders are much more worried about the next election. The Congress is looking at this as first, let's tackle November, December in terms of taking on the BJP, giving the grand agenda that Rahul Gandhi wants to set, and then see what happens post-December. So I think the Congress is willing to bide its time. The regional parties are itching now for this India alliance to forge some kind of an understanding on the ground that will eventually result in them fighting together. One of their leaders told me, look, the public out there is not certain as yet whether we will actually stay the course. We need to send out that firm message through thick and thin. We will stand together. We also need to in some way have talking points of our own that go beyond just anti-Modism. So I think there's a recognition of all this. Is that same recognition there within the Congress as it is within these allies? I'm not so sure.